Millionaire single dad found a homeless woman digging through trash on Christmas Eve. What she said changed his life forever. Daddy. "I'm hungry," Chloe whined from the back seat, her mittened hands smearing fog across the car window. "You said there would be cookies." Noah Bennett glanced at the clock on the dashboard. 6:47 p.m., Christmas Eve. Streets glowing with white lights and red ribbons. Couples laughing. Families rushing home with bags of gifts and boxes of pies. He sighed, rubbing his temples. "I know, sweetheart. Let's stop and get something." He pulled the sleek black SUV to the curb near a small bakery, Holiday Hearth, one of those cozy places that looked like it belonged inside a snow globe. A warm light spilled onto the sidewalk. Inside, a few late customers smiled over mugs of cocoa. As he reached for his coat, Chloe piped up again. "Daddy, who's that lady?" Noah paused. Outside, just past the bakery's dumpster, stood a young woman in a torn coat far too thin for winter. She was hunched over, digging carefully through the trash. Her long blonde hair was matted beneath a knit cap, and her gloveless hands trembled in the cold. "Daddy, is she looking for food?" Noah's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He hesitated, then got out. The wind bit hard. Snow swirled along the sidewalk, crunching under his shoes. He approached the woman slowly, unsure what to say. "Excuse me," he called out. "What are you doing back here?" The woman turned. Her face was young, early 20s maybe. Pale, thin, sharp-featured, but still soft around the eyes. She looked tired. Not defeated, just tired. In her arms, not food, but an old, battered notebook clutched tightly to her chest. The corners were dog-eared, the spine nearly split. "I'm not stealing," she said quietly. "I'm not looking for trouble, just trying to eat." Noah blinked. Her voice was calm, almost rehearsed, like someone used to defending herself. He glanced at the notebook again. It wasn't a purse or a wallet. It looked like recipes. She caught him staring. "It's just a cookbook," she muttered. "Old?" "Mine." He said nothing. For a second, he wasn't sure what to do. A car door slammed. Chloe ran toward them, her boots crunching in the snow. "Daddy, it's cold. Are we getting cookies?" Noah stepped protectively toward her, but Chloe wasn't afraid. She looked up at the strange woman and tilted her head. "Are you hungry?" The woman blinked. Chloe turned to Noah. "Can she have dinner with us?" Noah opened his mouth, then closed it again. The words caught him off guard. He was a man who planned everything: meals, meetings, emotions. But his daughter, tiny and trusting, had already reached out her mitten-covered hand. The woman, Brenda, though he didn't know her name yet, looked down at the little girl with something like disbelief in her eyes. A soft breath escaped her lips, turning to fog in the frozen air. Noah looked between them, Brenda, Chloe, a Christmas Eve he'd planned to spend in quiet numbness. Then he heard himself say, "Come on, let's get you warm." Brenda hesitated, then nodded. She tucked the recipe book carefully into her coat, as if it were something sacred. Back in the car, Chloe scooted over and made room, offering Brenda her fuzzy blanket without a word. Brenda smiled, a small, hesitant curl of her lips, and whispered, "Thank you." Noah sat behind the wheel again, the warmth of the heater slowly thawing the tension in the car. He glanced in the rearview mirror. Brenda's eyes were closed. She held the book in her lap, fingers tracing the edge like a prayer. Chloe leaned against her, humming something off-key. He had no idea who she was. But tonight, for some reason he could not explain, it didn't matter. The iron gate swung open as Noah's car pulled into the long, curved driveway. Snow had begun to fall again, soft and slow, dusting the manicured hedges and marble steps. Brenda stared out the window, her breath fogging the glass. The house, no mansion, looked like something from a storybook. Tall windows glowing golden from within, stone columns, high arches. Everything about it whispered wealth, security, a life she had only seen from a distance. Chloe hopped out first, skipping up the steps. "Come on," she called to Brenda, turning back with a wide grin. "We'll make cookies." Brenda hesitated before stepping out of the car, her shoes crunching in the snow. She tugged her threadbare coat tighter, arms instinctively wrapping around the worn recipe book hidden inside. Inside, the warmth hit her like a wave. Hardwood floors gleamed beneath her feet. The ceiling soared above her. Framed photos lined the walls. Noah with a woman who looked gentle, kind, Chloe as a baby giggling with cake smeared across her face. Noah hung up his coat and turned to her. "Kitchen's this way." "You're welcome to eat, Rest. Whatever you need." Brenda nodded quietly, still not sure why she was there. The kitchen was massive, stainless steel appliances, marble countertops, a hanging rack of pots and pans that looked untouched. Noah opened the fridge, revealing shelves of organic produce, sauces, and ready-made holiday platters. She blinked at the abundance. He gestured toward it. "Make whatever you'd like if you want." Brenda's eyes scanned the ingredients. Her hands moved almost without thinking. She pulled out carrots, thyme, butter, and leftover chicken from a tray. With quiet grace, she set to work. She moved like someone who knew her way around a kitchen, not frantically, but deliberately, confidently. Noah leaned against the doorway, watching. She diced onions with precision, stirred broth until it shimmered gold. The aroma rising from the stovetop wrapped around the room like a memory. Comforting. Familiar. When she ladled the soup into bowls and set them on the table, Chloe was already in her seat, kicking her legs with excitement. One spoonful and the little girl grinned. "Yummy!" Noah took a bite and froze. His wife had made this exact soup. Carrot thyme with roasted chicken, the balance, the texture, the warmth. It wasn't just good, it was exact. His throat tightened unexpectedly. "You've made this before," he said slowly. Brenda's eyes flicked up, then away. "A long time ago," she replied. "Let's just say life was different then." He waited for more, but she didn't offer it. Instead, Chloe climbed into Brenda's lap and snuggled into her coat. "You're like a snow princess," she murmured sleepily. Brenda laughed under her breath, a small, real sound that seemed to surprise even her. Noah watched them, the way Brenda gently stroked Chloe's hair, the way Chloe looked at her like she was magic. It unsettled him, and yet something in him eased. After dinner, Chloe fell asleep in the living room, curled up in a nest of blankets and storybooks. Brenda wandered to the large front window. Snow was falling heavier now, the world outside blurring into white. She sat on the window bench, pulled out the battered recipe book, and opened it carefully. The pages were stained and frayed, corners bent. Her fingers traced one handwritten line, her eyes softening somewhere between longing and grief. Noah passed through the hallway and saw her sitting there, still, silent, cradling the book like something fragile. He didn't disturb her, but in that moment, he knew this woman was not what she seemed. Whatever had brought her to his trash bin on Christmas Eve, it wasn't just hunger. There was history in her hands and a storm behind her eyes. Continued.